Hey, what's going on, YouTube Nation? Hey, this is another episode of The Lies You Tell with Uncle T. Hey, I'd like to thank my subscribers and all my new subscribers. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. And just like always, hit that like button and then the subscribe button. And we want to share as much information as we can. Hey, today we got a new topic today. And we was talking about some issues this past weekend. And I had someone who I was talking to about marriage. And I wish that someone had set me down and talked to me about marriage whenever I was getting married, because I had to find out a lot of things the hard way. And I want to talk to you about questions you should ask prior to marriage. What questions should a young man or a woman ask their spouse or future spouse or mate about marriage before they tie the knot? And like I said before, I had to do it mostly by trial and error. And a lot of times we get married for the wrong reasons. We get married because we're too young. We get married due to lust and not love. So we get married sometime for all different types of reasons. Maybe we, may have had a child out of wedlock, and people feel the best thing to do is get married and do the right thing and tie the knot. But I got right now, there's about 10 reasons that you should talk to your spouse, future spouse, or mate about marriage. First thing we need to ask ourselves, is this love or lust? Do we truly love the person we're with, or do we lust after the person that we're with? A lot of times when we see someone who's very attractive, a lot of times it's physical before it's mental. A lot of times we start off as looking at their body, looking at their features, looking at things of this nature. And a lot of times we are attracted by one or two characteristics. But also, there's nothing wrong with the physical attraction, but is there more than just lust? Is it love? Do you truly love this individual? Because love is a little deeper than physical attributes. Now, what if, a person is beautiful, look great, just a perfect 10? What happens if this individual is disfigured, car accident, paralyzed, sick, or have some type of illness that may happen, that they may not be the person that they used to be when you first met them? Will you still love them? Or was it a physical attribute that you lusted for them? Now that they've changed, now you don't feel that attracted to them anymore. So you have to ask yourself, do you love them or do you lust them? Because love is a commitment, no matter what. Lust is an attraction based on feelings and emotions. So that's the first thing we need to ask ourselves. Do I love you or do I lust you? Number 2, is there anything about your future spouse that irritates you? That's something that you need to ask yourself. Do they drink too much? Do they smoke weed? Or do they curse too much? Or do they want to hang out with the fellas all the time? Or she wants to hang out with the girls, or she never wants to spend quality time? Are there just little things that irritates you to the most? Because, nobody is perfect. There are little things that's going to irritate us, and there's things that's going to get on our nerves. But to some point, what irritates you the most about your mate? Because a lot of times people say, well, we get married, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna do this. No, they're not. When they get married, it's gonna get worse. Because once you get married, if it irritates you now, it would irritate you later. Okay? Because a lot of times people's minds are on just getting married, and they're not, thinking about change. And one of the things I say about marriage is, a lot of time people plan for the wedding, but they're not ready for the marriage. A marriage is a journey. not a wedding. A wedding lasts for maybe a couple hours, but the marriage lasts forever. So a lot of times people prepare for a wedding, but they're not ready for the marriage. Does the person has anything that irritates you? Now is the time to get those things out in the open and see if that's something you want to deal with or not deal with. Number 3, have you spent enough time together to enter into a lifetime commitment? Have you been dating long enough? Because a lot of time young couples think that everything is Skittles and rainbows, and they think everything is all sweet, all good. They think that they can just get an apartment, buy a house, and we're just going to go to work, come home, and we're going to be lovey-dovey on each other, and life is good, and we're going to live on love, and it doesn't work that way. Sure, you got to have love in a relationship, but it doesn't quite work that way. A lot of times we see that, we need time to give a time to see a person's true colors. Don't be in such a rush to want to get married so fast, because if you don't know the person, you may just know them for a short period of time. A lot of time people put on facades. They put their good foot forward. They don't let their hair down. They keep everything up. All you see is the good side. You may be getting love bombed. You may be getting gifts, sex, all these type of things of that nature. And you don't even really know the person until you actually live with them. And that's the fact anyway. You really don't know a person until you actually live with them and get married. And then you start working out all those little things that does get on your nerves. Number 4, do you honestly respect one another? That's another question. Are you allowed to keep it 100 with your partner respectfully in a loving way? Can you accept constructive criticism? Does your future spouse fly off the handle if you offer constructive criticism? Do they fly off the handle if you criticize them in any kind of way, whether it be positive or negative? How do they act? Do you respect one another? Can that person come to you and talk to you about their feelings or their position on a certain subject? Can they come to you and talk to you without you freaking out? Or do they have to go talk to someone else because you're not willing to listen? Do you respect one another? The standards of morality. Does they show standards of morality? That's another question for as respect. What kind of character do they have? Do they have morals? Are they the type of person that just does anything off the top of the hat? They just do whatever that feels good. All right. Does he or she involved with any type of violence or domestic violence? So these are the questions you do have to ask. Do you respect one another? Number 5, is the future mate committed to the Lord? That was something my wife and I were committed to. We went to different churches. The churches were slightly different. They had different beliefs to a point similar, but we had a lot of things we had to work out. You should never be unequally yoked with anyone. If you're a Christian or any other type of religion, you shouldn't be unequally yoked. The Word of God teaches the Christian that if you're a saved Christian, you shouldn't be unequally yoked with a sinner. You shouldn't be that way if you're not married. So you want to be equally yoked with anybody that you're going to marry, because it makes life a lot easier. Because when it comes to Sunday morning or Bible study, you don't want to have to go to your church. He goes to his church. If you're a Christian, he's a Muslim, he's going to his mosque, you going to your church, you guys never fellowship. That right there brings a strain on the relationship as well. Because we live in a culture where everybody is different. So we don't want to bring all that drama into the home. So we want to be equally yoked with someone religiously. So number 6, have you prayed about it? Have you prayed about the person that you're choosing? Or did you let your emotions and your feelings and lust take over? Did you pray about, should I marry this man? Should I marry this woman? Did you make the choice yourself? Or did you think that God gave you the opportunity to, give you the green light? Do you think God gave you the green light? Because what we have to ask ourselves, if I make the choice, am I making the right choice? If God makes the choice, will I be happy with God's choice? What if God said, no, he's not the one? Are you willing to walk away? Will you take God at his word? Will you take God at his word and say, she's not the one, I have something better? But you are scared to walk away because you got emotions for this person. You think this person is the one. What happens when all that happens? What happens when God says no? Do you say yes and say, well, Lord, I think I'll take my chances? So we have to ask ourselves, have you prayed about it? Is God in the choice? Because sometimes we have to have some guidelines. Because a lot of times your family may have told you that person is not the one for you. A lot of times we go against the grain because we want what we want. We love who we love. We lust who we lust after. And the family may say, no, you shouldn't marry that person because there's something about them that's not right. And you go ahead and do it anyway. And a year or two into the marriage, you're having all kind of problems, and you wish you had to listen to someone now, because now the marriage is failing. Number 7, what are your partner's thoughts about finances? And we know that the number one reason for divorce a lot of times is finances, because people think, like I said, they think we can live off love. We can't live off love. A lot of times we love each other, but it's going to take work. Marriage is a job. It is work. It is commitment. It's not just putting a ring on someone's finger and cohabitating together and think that everything's going to be okay. A lot of time we have life issues that come. A lot of times, we have children. We have life issues. You have jobs. You may have to change jobs. You may quit. You may get fired. Or financially, things may happen. You may get sick, or anything may take place. So a lot of times, how does your partner think about finances? Are they a splurger? Are they a saver? Are they a penny pincher? Are they real thrifty with their money? Are they a spontaneous shopper? When you go out, they just have to spend. They just have to swipe that credit card. They have to swipe that debit card. Do they save? Are they responsible? And what type of credit score does the person has? Do they owe government loans? I mean, what kind of bills do they have? Because once you get married, those are your bills now. Because if you try to buy a home or buy anything with a substantial amount of value, the banks are going to want to pull a credit report on both of you, especially if you're going to buy a home. And you need to know if your credit score is a 750, 800, and your future spouse credit score is 450, we got a problem. Why is your credit score 450? That tells me you're not very good with your money. You're not very good with finances. That tells me that you pay late or you don't pay somebody back at all. Do I want to hook up with somebody who's very irresponsible with money? Okay. And number 8, do you know their past? Do you know anything about their past? Do you know anything about you may be marrying someone who has a child. Do you know anything about the mother of that child? What is her temperament? How does she feel that that child is going to be around another woman? Is there going to be baby mama drama? Child support. Does your future spouse pay child support? Because that money is going to be coming out of your household. Are you going to compensate to say, okay, you're paying this for child support, you're doing this and you're doing that, and with my money, your money, this is all the money we're going to have for the month. Are we going to be able to take care of our bills? Is he a deadbeat dad? He seems very nice when he's with you or when she's with you, but is he a deadbeat dad? Sometimes you like to go ask the mother of his child, does he spend quality time with his child? Even you should know that as well. And if he doesn't spend quality time with the child when you're with him, so it's a possibility if you get pregnant, he may not spend quality time with the children, even in your own home. So you have to ask those issues. Is he involved with any other women? Does he text? Does he have long, outstanding friendships with other females? Or she has a lot of other males? You like to know these things about a person's past. You want to know who their friends are, who's his friends and who's her friends. So you like to want to meet these people so that you will be familiar with who's friends with who. And also, are there medical issues that run in their family? Does cancer run in their family? All those type questions you need to know. Does diabetes run in their family? What type of sicknesses? Does sickle cell anemia run through their family? Because the possibility that when you have children, it's a possibility your children may have these disabilities and have these type of diseases. All right. And number 9, how does he deal with stress? And we want to ask ourselves, how does my future mate deals with stress? When he gets upset, does he punch the walls? Does he cuss everybody out? Does he go off? Does he want to fight? Does he kick the dog? Is he verbally abusive? Does he call you every name in the book when he gets mad, or he gets a bad phone call, or something at work didn't go good today? Is he very upset? How does he deal with stress? How does he deal with anxiety? Does he request assistance and from you? Does he ask for your advice? Does he say, hey, I had a bad day on the job, this and that went wrong? How do you think I handled this situation? I told such and such this. What do you think I should have done? Does he talk to you about his day? And the other thing is, does he pray? When he has anxiety or stress, does he pray? Does he talk to the Lord and ask God to give him the strength to overcome what he's dealing with? Who does he run to first? When he's stressed out, does he run to the ABC store? Does he go to the weed man and to get some weed? Does he is he popping pills? How does he deal with stress? So those are the type things that you need to ask yourself. How do they deal with stress? And another thing you need to know is, how does he treat his mother? How does he treat his sister, his grandmother, his aunts? How did he treat females in his family? Because if he's abusive to all of these type of females, the sister, the mother, grandmother, aunts, he may be abusive to you. And also, same thing for the woman as well. How does she talk to her mother? How does she talk to her brother? How does she deal with people? And you watch these things and see, how does she treat other people that are family members? Is she respectful? Number 10, why do you want to get married? That's the big question. Why do you want to get married? Because if you're young, I can understand. If you're older, you're in your 50s, your 60s, I can understand why you want to get married, because time is the essence. And when you're real young and you got a lot of time, why are you rushing to get married? A lot of times people say, well, for companionship. Or they say, I want to start a family. I want to get married for financial reasons, because we could save so much money if we live together, and we could put our money together, and we can do this and we can do that. Some people want to get married for sex. Some people want to say that the person completes me. That's why I want to get married, because I just want to be together. Or they want to fulfill loneliness. And when I tell you this, these are all secondary reasons to want to get married. These are not the number one reason you should get married. These are all secondary. Just like I said before, love is a commitment. Love is more than just lust of the eyes, because there's got to be more there than just these things, because if something happens to the person, you're still going to end up with all these things here: loneliness, companionship, financials, sex, starting a family. Because you could start a family. What if you get divorced and the wife takes the kids and now you're by yourself? Now you're lonely, you're upset, you don't have your family, your wife, or your kids. So these are all secondary issues. These are not primary. Primary reason you should want to get married is because I love the total person. The total person I'm in love with. Regardless of sickness and health, we could have a great life together. If she was in a car accident and was paralyzed, I'm still going to love her. Just like if nothing was wrong, I'm still going to love her regardless. It goes a little bit deeper than that. Okay? So I hope that you got something out of these 10 things, that questions you should ask before you get married, because I wish someone had told me about these type things and sit down and talk with me about this, because maybe, who knows? I would have asked the right questions and I wouldn't have had to go through a lot of trial and error. But these are very good questions that you want to sit down. And if you know someone that would benefit from these questions, hey, hit the like button, share this with friends, share it with family. And until we meet again, this is Uncle T with the Lies You Tell, and we'll talk to you again, my friend.